Why are you even, you got, you're so judgmental. You are, that's not, it's in your eyes too. It's like a disease. You have a judgmental disease, Candy. All right. I'm the dumb one for sure. It's me. I gotta admit. I just put the thing that goes on your phone, the little tabby deal where you put your fingers. I put it the wrong height, and now my thumb can't stretch down to the bottom of the screen. So instead of saying got it for my Zoom meeting, I pressed leave meeting. Completely. It's my no, it's my fault for how I put the poppet on. Don't give again with the judgment. I didn't. Did I say it was the poppet's fault? I mean, it is. But I put the poppet on. I could drop it down lower. Yeah, are you recording yet? Jesus. Is Jason even in here? There's a motorcycle driving away.
What?
Who said what?
You said
Is my
what?
headphones down?
No.
There, Jason. I can
Yo.
hear you now. I thought I was talking to nothing for the longest time.
No, I'm here.
Listen to me be stupid, and I have no idea you're there because I got my volume all the way down.
Ah,
I must.
technology.
It's crazy,
Huge
dude.
technology.
Do you know
Sometimes,
about it?
sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. For a minute there, I realized I don't know. I guess a poppet is a technology. The
I
poppet
guess.
was throwing me off. My wife's trying to say I'm blaming the poppet. No, I'm blaming myself for putting the poppet in the wrong position, that my fat thumb can't reach down to the bottom of the fucking screen. And I'm too damn lazy to just press it with my other hand because I think I was holding the coffee or whatever. I left this meeting 3 times. That's why I'm getting back to saying, I guess. I've already left this meeting 3 times.
Oh,
Okay, my voice is way louder than yours. What am I? I can adjust here, babe. Did that help at all?
should I adjust my mic?
Yeah, we might need you to turn it up a bit. You got all that whole professional setup, bro.
How's that sound? All
Is
right,
that perfect?
much better. I like it. I had my volume on the mic channel lowered, so it's all good. We're
Yeah, you got
learning
a whole
as we
professional
go.
setup. I
I know I
seen that.
got
What are you recording?
um I'm rap and record my guitar playing, and I have a track I'm working on right now with the bass player of Static X. So
Is that
I
fucking awesome?
right? I programmed the drums. He did the bass and another guitar track, and then another my one of my other buddies, DJ, is playing ambient guitar on the track. I'm waiting for my other guitar
You said
player.
you play guitar on this track.
Yeah, I have a three-string electric guitar that I play. And I just do rhythm guitar. So,
Jason, welcome to Straight to the Point, completely off topic.
well, thank you for having me.
Dude, this is why I'm having you, and I'm already into it, and that's why I'm excited about. I also I Jimmy pulled out. We're gonna do it later today. So I got to cram two of I saw the opportunity though. We were texting back and forth, and this is exactly why I want you here is because of this. I had no idea you play guitar.
Oh yeah. Uh, skateboard, play guitar,
Well, I've
tattoo,
known
all
all
that.
these. Well, there's probably more actually. All these things that you've done that amaze me because by anybody's standard or definition, you should not.
No, yeah.
You should
I
not be
sh
able to. It's like they say the bee or whatever is not aerodynamically supposed to fly.
yes.
Okay, that's like some bullshit and it's just some meme thought, but whatever. Now that the rest of the world believes it, that's kind of you. Like, do you do these things because it is imagined that you can't?
No, I just do it because I believe I can, just like the bee flies because he can believe he can fly, like a reindeer flies because it believes it can
Okay,
fly. um,
you think Santa Claus is just blowing Disney movies up those reindeers' butts? Believe in
yes,
yourself, Rudolph.
believe in yourself. We
Oh
need
man,
more we need more movies and people and speakers to tell the next generation to believe in themselves because there's so much negative that's just
Mhm.
telling the younger generation and us that we can't do anything
Well, I think
unless
there's going to
it's
be a special spot. Like, man, with all this AI stuff, I think that's just the new. That's our evolution. And
yeah.
humans are default. Like, because I don't know what it would be like me going through school, and I guess I really don't know if school ever did shit for me. To be completely honest,
I
I mean,
think
I
school
can
was
drive down a road
basically
without it. Hmm.
yeah, I think school was basically a prison for kids. They get us out of our parents' hair for like 6, 7 hours. That was about it. I
Teachers are
don't,
loving us right now.
right? I don't think I really learned that much in school. I started really
Hmm.
learning things, especially like with geography and everything, when I started touring the country and the world. Then I started figuring out where things were
Hmm.
and what history to certain parts of the country were. So I think I learned more hands-on. I'm not a oh show me this and I'll learn it. I have to hear it, see it, and do it so I can learn it and keep doing it.
And somehow that, well, I guess we're talking about schools, and maybe
we're
I'm getting off topic, really,
we're
but
just talking about whatever, but I
I
get what
I
you're
I,
saying.
I think I get what you're saying. The schooling that I use in my day to day, not that I'm everybody, God bless. Nobody has to be, this guy, and I don't have to be them. Thank the Lord. But I don't know how much of it I actually use. If anything, I use the processes of learning, right? That
Yeah,
I learned in there of memorization or whatever, and going through the fucking motions of just being in an 8 hour trap time schedule, like punching a clock. It teaches you
yeah.
good for that.
Um,
And then they weed the art out of it, and and you're left with just that punching a clock, right? Without the thought outside of it. Well, I guess what I'm saying, if I had to go back to school now, I'm reading all this AI stuff. I don't know
yeah,
if I would ever take a test again. I would just program that shit. I would learn how to be a real good programmer of questions into AI and just let it do all my papers, all that shit for me.
right? That would be so
And
much
then,
easier. I don't
yeah, and then
think
kind of
if
lean
I
back
went
on it.
back to
Remember?
school, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think if I went back to school, I would like it too much because going touching the topic of taking like art out and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
like that's really what got me through school, man. I enjoyed and I looked forward to going to art. I had a teacher in high school that got me out of classes all the time because he knew I hated him, and
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, you're my aide. I need you to run copies for me." So I'm like, "Cool, thanks." That guy got me through school.
I follow. And no surprise that now you're an artist
Correct.
in more than one. Now I haven't touched on your handicap yet, but part of the amazing part about you is that we were saying or touching on, I guess, a little, but that you should not be able. You don't have the same capacity as everybody.
Yeah. In a normal standard sense, for a person with arms and knees and stuff like that, the things I do, most people kind of scratch their head like, how do you do that? And on top of that, you make it look easy.
Now it's you were missing all radial
Yeah,
bones.
miss,
Is that
yeah.
okay?
Um, my
TARS syndrome.
condition is TAR syndrome, and it's short for thrombocytopenia with absent radius.
Mhm.
Basically, it's a fancy word for shortened of limbs and being anemic.
Poss-
So,
quite a hand.
yeah, so I got, and with this condition, you can have short arms. The
Well, no, I mean quite a hand of poker, I guess. But yeah, yeah, you have. I didn't mean physically. I'm sorry. I was just saying this deck's kind of stacked, bro.
This deck is fully stacked. I got the quadruple whammy, dude. People with my condition,
Hmm.
sometimes they only have like arms or hands down to where your elbows are, and one arm may be longer than the other one, and they have knees, and working kidneys. I got the stacked deck, short arms, that protrude out of my shoulders. The knees were fused, and I could not move them, so they had to break my legs when I was a baby, and that's why I have to wear braces.
They
And
broke your legs for what? So that you had mobility or something?
okay, so when I was born, do you remember being in school and having to sit in Indian style?
Hmm.
I was born sitting in that position, and my legs were fused. They could not get out of that position. So
Oh
about
God.
till I was like 5, I would hop around on my butt and
You
stuff
were
like
in
that.
that position, in that Indian position
Yeah.
until you're
Um,
5.
yeah. Then
And
they
was it technology caught up or you passed a certain
uh
threshold that they could do the operation?
it was I think they were waiting um for certain levels to stay at a certain range,
Because
or
at the same time, you have a deficiency in your kidneys.
yeah. I was born with dysplastic kidneys, so I was on dialysis since birth. And then around 7 years old, I had gotten my first transplant in 97. That lasted for about 10, 15 years or something like that. Then it stopped working. Then I went back on dialysis for 2 years. Then they found me another transplant that worked for about 6, 7 years. Um, and
It,
then
are you
I'm
a
back.
harder person to find transplants for, possibly too, because of your size?
It's not the size.
Hmm.
It's they're called antigens or whatever.
Okay.
And the more times you're transplanted, the more antigens you have, and they have to flush them out and get them out. And it's usually harder.
Because they will
So,
fight the new organ.
correct. So, I could technically have a third one, but I'm 37 years old and I'm not good at taking my medicine all at the same time every day. So, I'm just gonna stay on dialysis until, maybe they get this bionic kidney going. Because
Okay.
if they do that, then I won't have to take the anti-rejection medicine. And man, when I was on those, they tore my stomach up. I did
Yeah.
not like them at all.
I've heard that being on that in some cases, it's like a prison sentence to your house too, with the fear of ever going outside and
That
experiencing
too,
some kind of virus or something.
especially with this day and age that we're living in with uh the COVID or whatever, and all these other crazy bacterial infections that are coming
Mhm.
up. The medicine just makes your immune system so weak. I wouldn't be able to go to tattoo conventions or go outside for a long time, and I wouldn't be able to skateboard anymore.
Are you still skateboarding currently then?
Yeah, I've taken a little break. I hurt myself a couple weeks ago, especially
I'm
and
sorry to
from
laugh, but when you say I take a little break, I'm like, well, what do you mean? You took some time off or you broke something?
no, I'm taking some time off because I did hurt something.
Right,
Um,
right. Then
and
that,
on
yeah.
top of that, my levels weren't good from the hospital, so I just haven't really. I'm like been in like a relaxing healing mode until the next show.
After Philly, which I guess
Yeah,
let's just touch on for a little while and not have too much negativity and angst over it, but it does. I like, God bless you people when you're not a douchebag, when you can
right.
see through your job that you are experiencing humanity, you're taking part in this experiment we're calling civilization, and you're helping your fellow man.
Yes.
But when you are being a fucking, I can say when you're being maybe I shouldn't, when you're being a terrible human being, that's what I'll say,
There you go.
through your security position job. And
Yes.
because of your paperwork, you want to ride down on somebody and treat them as though they're not special. When let's be fucking honest, dude, you're special. You're fucking
Thanks.
like this motherfucker. I guess I should explain some of the circumstances, but you guys are going to the booth. You're an artist. You
Yeah.
have a badge for the weekend, but it's at the booth. Your other friends have their badges and
Yes.
they just met up with you. You just got in it. There's special limitations to every fucking moment of your. This part gets me, I guess, why I'm angry about it. And at that point, any motherfucker should be able to overlook something. If somebody were trying to get somebody in to the show, in some kind of nefarious way, I guess, for some nefarious purpose,
Yeah.
it's most likely not going to be you. It's not
No.
somebody with TARS syndrome. And
No.
also, if it is, like, honestly, fucking, you get as you get and deserve a special parking place. But how about you get free admission to fucking places? They let kids under 12 and shit in sometimes. Like this, I don't know. That's me. Maybe I'm going above and beyond. But I don't feel I am. And
No,
I
you're
know that
not.
you don't want me to necessarily because you're like, well, I'd rather probably be treated equal, but making my life easier brings
Yeah.
me a step closer to equal because there's no amount of, I mean, with you already know. I don't know. No, I'm lost on it because what the security guard did was she made you, who was also in an anemic state and low blood sugar at the time, wait while your friends traversed all the way up to their booth and made it all the way back
Yes.
with your badge so that you could come in, prove to her that you were an artist. And she also made a claim that really pissed Dumont off. I'm getting his name right. Dumont, right?
Yes.
I always think of him of Cafe Dumont, but it like, because you're an artist and you may not look, I guess, like you could be, but that's the fucking amazing part. That's the special, that's why you're on the show, right? And when
Yes.
he said he's an artist, he's with us, she said he's an artist or something like that. That was what his retelling to me. Might not have been the way it went down. She might have said it differently, but
She
it's definitely the way
probably
he heard that shit.
she probably was like, he's an artist and chuckled. She was uh she was like being real nice, but she was also being a real asshole with her body language and stuff because she was trying to hide it with saying hun and please and all this stuff, but she was being a jerk that day, especially when you got the MC of the show and the guy that puts on these shows sitting
Troy.
there telling her hey, he's our dude, we know
No,
that.
you mean Troy and Carl were both there with and told her to
Yeah,
overlook that?
yeah,
So, long story short, I'm getting making it too long because I'm angry. I'm sorry. I'm calming down. Let's do a
it's
show,
okay.
pal. The important part is like, don't feel bad helping people out uh, throughout life. And if you see a visible handicap, then don't feel bad about helping them. You're not necessarily, if someone says, hey, I got it, and they don't want you to, by all means, let them take care of it. But like, you're not making them less than you. You're helping bringing them up to the ease of day, or even just sharing with them a look, right? Like a lot of times people will see handicap and for their own comfort, they'll look away or not want to be around it. I'm sure
Most
you're familiar
people,
with that.
yeah, most people to me that are physically able, that have arms and knees and stuff like that, are disabled because they have a poor mindset. That's all disabled is. If you have a poor mindset and you can't get over certain things, you're disabled.
Well, there's something about you that helps me get over my disabled, as I sometimes, and I do all the time, get depressed about silly things that I have a hard time sharing because logically it doesn't almost make sense. But then I have an inspiration like you because you get up, you tattoo, you play a guitar, you ride a skateboard. And in this case, this security guard made you wait, and by the time they got back, you were pretty much in a coma.
Yeah,
I mean, and then
I
spent the next 3 days in a hospital.
4 days.
4 days in a hospital.
They let me out Tuesday, and when I got to the hospital, my temperature was 94.1. I was basically hypothermic, and my body was going into shock.
And for those anybody listening or what like to um what what was the important thing about a badge at that moment? You're somebody that if I'm working the turnstile at Disney, you're just walking through.
Yeah,
Come on in, man. I don't even know if there's any rides that can accommodate you, but you're here. Come on in. Like, enjoy a bit of this, a bit, enjoy something, enjoy. I don't
right.
know. It
When
fucking,
I'm when I go
it,
to shows here in
mhm.
Baltimore or Philly, um, a lot of times I don't even have to wait in line. They know who I am, and I sometimes I don't even have to have a ticket to go to the show.
Well, there's been many times too that you're a star attraction of sorts, right? You're on the stage doing
Yeah.
a performance for people as well.
Yes.
Um, so integral part of the show and a unique commodity. To me, that there's no one as unique. There are people, you know them more than I, but in my life, like you're the most unique person I know. And I want that around me. Like, why wouldn't I want, I don't know. So, anyways, if you are in any capacity throughout your day, have the ability to help out somebody with a handicap, or what, or even just talk to them, like even just be a human, right?
Yeah.
The normal day to day stuff, weather conversation, or even just hey, I like to
I
nod at people in wheelchairs and stuff when I see them going down the aisles because oftentimes most people are looking away, and I see that they are almost in this kind of bubble
yeah.
that they can experience and that no one is trying to penetrate. You know what I mean? No one's trying to make eye contact with them or say whatever. But damn, I don't care what kind of situation. If you got a fucking wheelchair, first off, this is going to be one of my most comfortable tattoos. You already got this badass chair, you
Yeah.
know? I don't need to set up some kind of contraption so I don't have to break my neck to tattoo. You're like
Right.
in the right spot. Well, depending on where we're tattooing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's harder at the legs, but at any
Well, they
rate,
got
I'm
them.
just
They got
mhm,
those like they got those feet rest or whatever. You could just
pop
straighten
right
out,
up there.
and
It's
there you
like an
go. Your
armrest.
tattoo, like Robbie Whipple. When
Hmm.
his leg he had to get it amputated, and so I'm like, dude, you don't need a leg to tattoo, bro.
No,
Especially nowadays with the wireless machines and stuff, you don't need to have a you don't need to have a foot pedal. You don't need to have
no.
all that. You literally press a button on your battery and you're tattooing,
What if he was using if his leg was also an armrest and he could just take it off and armrest somebody with that?
right?
Um, but uh, as yourself, you don't really. You used to tattoo though when we had foot pedals, right? Coil
Yes,
machines.
I had coils. I still have them in my collection.
Hmm.
Normally I would tattoo with the micros, like the micro Jonesies or micro
Okay, yeah.
bulldogs, um, because they were half the size of a normal coil.
Did you have to have different needle bar lengths for those two, like a quarter inch shorter needle bars?
No,
Okay.
use the same needle bar and tubes. I would
Yeah, I
use
didn't know if
this.
they stood up on top of one of those yokes to make the shorties. I've always liked the shorty. I mean, now we're getting into stupid geek stuff, but as far as shorty coils go, I've always liked them. I started to find a love for them even on my shaders.
They slap harder.
Mm-hmm.
And the center of gravity of them is great. They don't,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't when you have it and then you hooked it to the clip cord. That clip cord and the weight of the machine, it's not really pulling back as much as a like giant machine
Mm-hmm.
with 2-inch coils.
That you probably experience more than someone like myself because of your lack
Yes.
of one. You can't really stretch. You have to have someone else stretch for you. Am I wrong?
Yes, I have someone stretch for me. Or nowadays, really,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a parts tattooer. So like I'll tattoo like the back of a shoulder, ankle, or back of a calf.
Yeah, you got
Um,
my ankle, motherfucker,
yeah, I
right on
do.
the bone.
I know. I was not
I,
happy with that tattoo.
dude, have you seen it lately?
No, I have not seen
It
it
healed up
since.
so good. Well, I mean, comparatively, like you
Yeah.
remember, it was kind of a rough heal for me too, because of where
Yeah.
it's at, right on that action spot and all that. And you were getting swamped assed about it at one point because you weren't happy with the way it was turning out, and so
Yes.
you started to get in that where you're like, I'm just going to keep working
Yeah.
it,
And I was like, ah. But now that
It looks
I
great,
got some
dude.
better machines that are good for lining and
Mhm.
shading.
I
So
was
I pick,
curious about what machines you would use. Everything for you is going to be slightly different than for everybody else. But right now, with everybody getting into these where they turn the machine down low and they do that stipply stuff,
yeah.
I was
See,
wondering if it isn't what you're going to be going towards.
um, I have I guess what they call the slim, um, FK irons, um, machine, and I use the disposable grips because they have a little bit of rubber and they don't slip. And
Mhm.
I line at like 6, and then like try to
Nice and
shade.
slow, then, kind of.
Yeah, because I'm not moving my hand as fast as someone with arms.
Hmm.
And if I turned it up to 8, I would just be ripping someone apart. So plus, I'm using a 4.4 millimeter stroke instead of like a softer stroke. I need
4.4.
I'd like to, right? Um, it's
Okay.
also because I don't push down either.
Well, that probably gives you a little bit more control, actually, as I think about it, doesn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because
And
you can have more of that needle out with,
yep.
and it be a little safety because you're kind of playing some of this by the force.
Yeah,
You're like a lot, most often we're going to bridge hand something down where we rest on that little heel part of our hand and
yep.
then kind of use that as stability. But a lot of what you're doing is like crouching tugger hidden dragon,
Yeah.
right? Like where she was making those brush strokes.
Yeah,
If you're familiar with the movie, it won an
I
Oscar.
am,
People fucking watch.
right?
But yeah, then you're doing that. That probably actually resonated with you. Am I wrong? Those the brushstroke technique that she
That
was going
and
over in there.
what really got me to start doing really good line work and tattooing is I would have a book. And it's a really old school artist. His name's Stony Sinclair, and he's similar to me and has messed up hands. Instead of holding a machine like your normal way, he flipped his hand upside down and he held it in between his middle finger and his pointer finger, and
Okay.
he used the back of his hand to rest on his client for stability.
Is that how
So
you're doing it as well?
yeah,
Okay, so your thumb's almost downwards then when you're doing this. Am I right?
my thumb is in the upward motion. My
Okay.
hand is literally upside down while I tattoo.
But your thumb is still in the upward,
Yeah.
pointing to the sky. Okay.
Yep. Um, I looked at that, and then when I started doing it, I was like, "Holy crap! My line work is
Mm-hmm.
getting really clean." And that's how I've been drawing the stuff on the iPad. Like a lot of the stuff I've been sending you, that's how I'm drawing it, and it's coming out super clean.
They look great.
And I
You got to
learned
be
from
using one of them syrup pens though, too, or whatever. When those nice follow throughs, because you can, I can't get a
uh,
straight line on my fucking iPad half the time without
I'm just
that
going
follow through or whatever. Mm-hmm.
I'm just going real slow, and I don't use any of the fancy add-ons they have. I
Oh
just
no.
no, because I want to be able to see. I don't like that there's all this like stickers and stuff that people can put together to like Photoshop like a sleeve instead of actually drawing it. Because how do you know you're going to be able to copy that unless you draw it?
Well, in my defense, because I'm using them now, is
Well, it also
I've
makes
done
it
a pocket
faster.
watch enough. freaking times.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. But you have what? A decade of more tattooing than I do. Um, and you're also you've been tattooing longer and you've been tattooing more. So yeah, you
When it
probably could
starts to
do
be those elements that you've already recreated enough times,
you
you
don't
begin to
you
see
know it.
the benefit because your client they want this, and what isn't seen sometimes is the time in building the tattoo.
Exactly.
And then like what I'm going through right now is people always want to work with you through sketches and things, and then they just want you to throw them away. So like they just want,
No.
okay, that didn't work. I was wrong. I changed my mind 100%. Like I swear to God, I swear to
Oh
God,
yeah, I know.
and you're just like all this. So at that point, that I can bring in a pen for a leaf, and just start popping them down and some
See,
roses,
yeah,
boop, boop, boop,
that's
and then a stopwatch. Here you go. You fucking want your Pinterest tattoo. I
yeah.
tried to get you to dream outside of the box, and you were like, I like the box.
I like the box. I like be conformed and not go outside. That's me though. I'm outside the box 110%. Life and like music and art. Art is not meant to be perfect. Art is really, if you think about it, art is made up of multiple accidents that made that piece. Um,
I don't
that's
think you're wrong. Eventually, those accidents become purposeful, though, right?
exactly. So, you have to have mistakes to be able to succeed. Um, I was not super good at tattooing when I first started, but I didn't let it stop me. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people with a lot of the stuff they try. They think they're going to pick up something and they're going to be famous or this great thing. And when they don't have something come out the way they want, they automatically stop doing it.
That's why I don't play guitar.
Well,
You
if
had to
I
learn it.
I
It
guarantee
didn't just
you,
come out.
I guarantee you, if you push like you did with tattooing,
Oh
you
yeah.
would have something. But again, the stuff you want to do and be really good at it, it takes time and it's something you have to do every day. It's not something, oh, I'm going to pick this up this month and I'm not going to do it for a year. They're going to pick it up again. You can't do that. Inconsistency does not work when you are trying to become the best at something.
Well, you're learning for sure, huh?
Yeah.
That's got to be a difficulty for you even now. I got to figure. Am I wrong? How often do you get to tattoo?
Uh, since I started doing shows, I've basically been doing I tattoo pretty much like every other weekend or every weekend if I'm at a show. Um, but I got those pound of flesh things and it's nice to be able to figure out how to get the ink in and how much you have to go to get things saturated. But that take will never replace actually tattooing a real person
Right.
because it's not going to teach you that people jump when there's a sharp needle touching their skin. It's not, and they're going to make your job difficult.
Yeah. There's
you know
also it's also harder to push, like you have to push a little harder for the silicone stuff, those
yeah,
pound of flesh type things,
yeah,
than than you do for real skin.
yes you do.
Because it bounces a little bit more, right? Like I don't know if skin is more quick to rip, and maybe that's its thing, and it's the healing process that allows it to stay in, or if
Yeah.
there is but that silicone, I was trying to get my granddaughter to tattoo. She's probably too young, but I was pretty sure I could keep her from poking her finger, and it wasn't going anybody's blood. So I was like, even if she pokes a little bit, she'll just learn
Yeah.
or forever be scarred. I don't know. Uh, we're ready to make some mistakes, I guess. But she's a adventurous soul.
There
But
you go.
she wasn't into it. So instead, she watched me put her name on the side of this hand.
Yeah,
But you really got to press. Like, first thing I noticed right away, I pull away after I did something that would normally be like a line. And then
yeah,
I look at it and I'm like, ooh, I got to go 3 times as deep as that, you know?
yeah. You really got to push and you got to go slow with it. You can't just whip it in because it just
Mm.
doesn't hold. Um, and that's one thing I learned from doing a full arm and hand, and also I got a like a plaque one that I did like my version of Frankenstein.
That
So
you did plaque one. What do you mean? So as you display these now?
yeah, it's like a flat one, and you can put them in frames.
Okay.
So I was
Like a
gonna
shadow
start,
box or something.
yeah, I was gonna start doing that and put them in shadow boxes. And if anybody wanted it or wants them, I could sell them to them or whatever. But I just like doing them because it keeps it basically. I get to do my art on the pound of fleshes. I don't
Mm-hmm.
get to do what I want to do on clients. They
What are you
want
normally tattooing then?
they want, these little jammers that we put out.
Mm-hmm.
My team and I, we decided to do little flash jammers, and they're $100 because we are not. I'm not super famous, and my name's not big enough to be doing. And plus, I don't want to be doing 6, 7 hour tattoos.
Hold
Or
up. Let's take a moment to try and fix that as little as we can. Uh, what's your Instagram, brother?
my Instagram is lowercase j, but the O is a zero.
Are you fucking
So,
kidding me? You got this kind of an explanation with your handle?
yeah,
We got to talk some marketing, brother. Even I know this. I'm gonna have Mark
because
Smith call you up and give you some pointers.
oh,
What is it? Explain it to me again.
all
Your
right. So
IG.
my Instagram is L zero WERCASEJ.
Okay. I like it.
It's
Lowercase J, but spelled with a zero.
yeah. That's my computer background basically. Uh, I used to do coding, and I was used to be able to code and do like websites and set up networks and stuff like that.
You
But
didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't a passion.
um, well, when I got out of school, I tried to get an internship with NASA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were at they're like beginner level. They had for setting up networks, they would have people, you basically would have to crawl through the ceiling and pull the wires through the ceiling, and they weren't trying to make any accommodations. So
Uh,
I was like, well, I don't want a desk job anyway because it would drive me nuts. And I always, since I was younger, I always wanted to be a tattooer or at least own my own shop. Um,
how long? When you say younger, how old?
I was like 6, 7 years
When
old.
when you
And
start seeing tattoos like that,
yeah, I told my
and
mom
you
that
wanted to part.
I was like, I'm gonna be a tattooer when I get older.
You're kidding me. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Um, I just thought the lifestyle was cool, and I really liked
What'd
all the
she think
art.
of it?
She was
You
not
tell her.
happy with
Okay.
it.
That one. But now she's always having to, I'm guessing, worry somewhat as mothers will
Oh
about the
yes.
limitations of their son or their children and the ventures. So my mother even told me art was not necessarily a career for me, even though I would be asked, what do you want to do? I want to be an artist. My mom was like, ooh, they're all starving. um have
Yeah.
you thought about architecture? She always pushed me on architecture, and it until eventually when I became criminally minded and out a little bit out of control. I mean, other traumas were involved, but it was a lot of that statement that actually held me back from recognizing that my true outlet was not crime, drugs, or whatever. My true outlet should have been art all along, but it was bred out of me because it wasn't ever a light at the end of the tunnel or a carrot that could even be grabbed because of the limitations that family was happy to put on me for fear that I wouldn't succeed. Your
Yeah,
mother's got to have a fear of that based off of your handicap. So when she's thinking about you doing things, she's like, wow, right? Or, or
it's not
how,
that.
mm-hmm.
She's always been fearful of people taking advantage of me or using me. Um I've done my two careers. You would not like a mother would not be happy about it. My one
Was your
career
first
that
your
my
first was porn or what?
no sideshow. I did sideshow for
Oh, and
for
so
20
she's
plus
worried about you
years.
being a spectacle and not respected or something.
Yeah,
But that's I don't know. There's two ways to look at it, and I don't know. I like Chris Steele's outlook on it a lot,
I
and
like
his
Chris
is
Steele.
man, he's an awesome kid,
Me and
and
him
his
have
outlook on it is that you're special and unique, and you're giving people something, and however they take it is however they take it. But the way that you design it and present it, that's what you control, and you know what it's intended to mean,
yeah.
and that's it.
I just want I don't know. I don't go about life thinking, "Oh, I'm going to inspire anybody," or I want the I'm just doing my thing,
Mhm.
and if it happens to inspire people and make people think twice about, "Oh, well, I don't really have it that bad because I can use my
All the
arms
time.
or bend my knees and get down steps or whatever easily." Or just people like, oh, look at that dude. He is not complaining. I do complain. Trust me, I do complain. I have my I have my days where I'm not wanting to be around people and I don't want to deal with the world. Um, and that's because of traumas and things that I've, you know, held and not expressed as a younger adult or uh until now. But
You're
that's all
getting it
right.
out now. Is that what the music is about?
Yeah, the music and the paintings and the tattooing and like just going out because I don't, yeah, I have health issues and physical limitations, but I'm not ever going to, like, I went to the hospital and that's not going to stop me from going to shows, festivals, or doing conventions because if you live your life in fear of dying or getting sick, you're never going to leave your house. You're never going to experience life to the fullest.
Never live your life at all.
I have a saying that's tattooed on my collarbone that Troy Temple tattooed on me, and it's live your life or don't live at all. And I really believe that.
I
If
like it.
you if you don't live your life, you're not living. And you only get one life, and it can be taken away just like that. I don't
Yeah.
want to ever be like, what if? You know, I'm friends with bands, friends with are real successful and awesome artist, and I think I'm very lucky because yes, I've had a hard life, but the universe throws these little Easter eggs my way.
Uh huh. What do you
Like
mean?
I'll be on a guest list for a show. Like I'm doing this song with Tony Campos, the bass player from Static X. Anytime they come through town, I'm on their guest list and I get to hang out and be in the backstage with them and I get to talk to them, text them anytime.
How this come about? Where do you meet? What was his name? Tony.
Tony Campos from
Mm-hmm.
Static X, he plays bass. So in 2009, I was still doing Sideshow, and I got a phone call saying, "Hey, do you want to do this national tour for 3 months? We're going to be doing Sideshow in between bands, and the two headlining bands are Mudvayne and Black Label Society, and Static X is going to be on the bill as well." And I was like, "Are you kidding? These are all bands I grew up listening to. I'm
Right.
a huge new metal and metal fan, and it just If someone told me in school that I would be friends with these people, I wouldn't believe them. And I did this tour with them. We became friends, and over the time we were
Just
on
hanging out
tour.
backstage and seeing each other at the eater venues or something.
Yeah, just going to the catering and eating and chilling and hanging out and becoming friends, and like it's like being at camp for the whole summer. You vibe with certain people, and then exchange numbers or info so you can keep in touch. The whole time we were on tour, I had a little mini flying V Epiphone that was made for a kid, that I had taken
A
all the
guitar, right?
yeah, I had taken all the other stuff out, the generic stuff, and put in pro like
Okay.
stuff.
And by flying
And
V, for those not aware, the most rocking of all guitars.
yes,
Okay.
um,
BC
so
Warlock trying to catch up, but man, just too funky. Just too
nope,
funky looking.
too funky. Um, and so I would be on their bus and playing and diddle and just fiddling around the guitar, and like they liked my attitude and like how I just kind of did stuff, and they knew I was into music. So we kind of talked about it, and eventually he was like, "Hey, whatever happened in that track we were supposed to work on and the music we are supposed to do?" And I was like, "Oh." So we finally got to it this year.
Oh, wow. So it was by his prodding as well.
Yes.
I mean, there's some kind of something cool about the whole thing, but something kind of cool when it's not you, right, working your ass off to be recognized by these guys. It's these high. I'll go it on a limb. High end celebrities, red
Yeah.
carpet traveling celebrities,
Yeah.
invited to the Oscars, and during which he texts you, and he was like, "Who's slapping who? Oh, I don't even care. Just a second, I got to text Jason and finish this." And he said, "Hey, man, we got that very important album we were working on." And everybody's like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And he's like, "I don't even care. Fuck Will Smith and Jada Pickett."
That's pretty much, yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Like uh they were on a tour with Rob Zombie and Mudvayne, and I went to the venue, and I did not know that I had gotten put on two bands guest lists, and I had a crew
How'd you find
pass.
out to even know though, or
when
to
I went
ask?
when I went up to the will call, I was like, I should be on Mudvayne's guest list, blah blah blah. And they're like, "Is your name Jason Broad?" I'm like, "Yes." They were like, "Oh, you're on Mudvayne and Static X's thing, and you have a pass to go wherever you want." I'm like, "What? That's awesome!" Because I don't really want to bug them, because it's their show and they
Yeah,
need
but
to
let's
be.
also be honest. General admission for you is going to suck unless you're on one of your friends' shoulders, right? Like you're
Yeah,
getting no one. No
I
one's going to put. You're going to get pushed around. No one's going to see you.
I've gotten to a point now at my local venues or shows. I do not like to go to shows unless I'm on a list and I know the band,
Hmm.
because they will put me on stage, side stage, so I can see. I cannot see when I'm in general admission.
And you don't like looking at everybody's kneecaps and
But
assholes, huh?
yeah, it's not fun.
Like, hey, so what's going on stage? They're rocking out. Oh, that sounds
Oh,
cool.
awesome. That's cool. That's like all I see is the back of your head.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, obviously, it's awesome.
It
When
is.
does this drop, though? As far as the album, or how's the progress going on it?
Right now, I'm waiting on the lead guitarist to get his guitar track done and sent to me. Then I will get the rhythm guitar done, and then I have to do my vocals. And then I'll send it off to Tony, and hopefully he'll get the rest of the stuff that we need to do to get the track finished. And then hopefully throughout the year we'll get a couple more songs done. Usually when he's not on tour, he can usually jam something out for me, which is
This,
really
you
nice.
you guys have worked on stuff before then.
We've kind of like talked and brainstormed. Um, he
Which
already
in,
kind of like he knows the style that I like, and like I'm very familiar with his playing, and I like how he plays. So I kind of like, hey, I'm gonna program the drums, and whatever you feel like doing, it's going to sound awesome.
Good to it. You just send them the drums then first.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Yes.
How much technology? It's got to be. You wrote code, so obviously it was an integral part of your life at some point. But
Yeah.
technology, like what the picture you showed me of the things you're using right now, I guess to record your voice, now has made it to a place where you it's much easier for you to do this, right? Back
Yes. I
in
don't
the
have to
80s, you
go.
would have to fly out or something.
Oh yeah, I would have to go into a studio and here's the thing. I've been in studios. They're cool, they're great. If you know exactly what you're doing and you're gonna hammer it out. Um,
That ain't
but
bad though when we're talking about heavy metal. If you know what you're doing, then you can
right?
go in there and doom it quick, man.
Yeah. There was time that I've spent 7 hours in the studio and did not get anything that I liked.
Right.
And guess what? That was $700 down the drain. So I would much
I've
rather
heard of
have,
these similar problems with James Brown himself.
yes, I'd much rather have my own recording equipment and kind of figure it out and see what I like. So that way I can be the producer and the artist. Because sometimes producers do weird stuff to your stuff and you're like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? I did not envision this.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know if we didn't even see that with Metallica and Bob Rock. I mean, a couple of good albums, right? And then
right?
what was that Albatross shit? And didn't it just get worse after that? I don't even know. I completely
Listen,
wrote them
they
off like they're on tabloids at the checkout counter now.
they lost their powers of thrashing when they cut their hair.
It seemed like that, but I went and watched Loaded, and I think maybe it was
Oh
Reloaded
yeah,
tour.
the loaded and have you watched I think it's on Netflix or Hulu, The Monster I've Become?
I thought it was
Where
some kind of monster or something like
yeah,
that.
some kind of monster. And it
Yeah.
was like James literally like was like, I don't want to deal with you all for like a year.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I guess I
So
didn't watch all of it. I started to get into it and I cared less about it. I began to respect Jason Newsted a lot more for his
yes.
decision to leave.
Yeah.
And also I respected Jason Newsom from back in the days of Flotsam and Jetsam. He was in
Yeah.
that, wasn't he? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
I feel like we kind of followed him there and I was like, man, this is a crazy choice. But then they came out with Albatross and you saw the switch. I think what Newsted was playing with, um, who's the guy who used to play with Ozzy?
oh, uh
Singers, Snyder,
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name.
Zach Wild, right?
Zach Wild. Yeah, he is such a sweetheart, dude. I was
You
on
met
tour
him?
with, yeah, I was on tour with them in 2009. Friends with JD, their bass player. Um,
What's it
Zach
with you and
Wild.
bass players, bro?
What?
it must. What's it with you and bass players? It's like I know his
Uh,
bass player. Oh yeah, man. Creed, not the best band, but his bass player is pretty good guy. I mean,
um, nah, it's just like,
Striper, that Christian rock band. Yeah, I
yeah,
know him a bit. Toured with them. No, their bass is really good.
we just jam. I just jam with bass players. They're more relaxed, I think.
Does
Um,
it come to the relationship between bass and drums as being the real driver of almost all the music that you like there in that genre?
yeah, that's probably what it is.
I mean, we know that electric, it's kind of, I mean, I can't say it's nothing without the electric guitar, but if you listen to a bunch of Steve Vai or something like that, then and even that's got drums. Like
You could
that's the
have a
bones.
you could literally have a rock album with a drummer and a bass player and a vocalist. But the guitar does add a extra to it. Um, I just got along with them, and it was funny because Zach doesn't let people on stage, side stage while he's playing, and I had kind of long hair and a beard, and they were calling me like mini Zach Wild, and
Hmm.
he let me. I would like do these little guitar spins. I would spin the guitar around my shoulder and catch it. Um, and he let me stand side stage while they played a lot of times, and it was a really awesome experience. And he's a really
Awesome.
nice guy.
That is super cool.
right?
Amazing music too. He's a
Oh
Black
yeah,
Label Society, right? And
yeah,
played with
Black
Ozzy
Label.
Osbourne for so many years.
He
And that
started playing with Ozzy when he was 16 years old.
is it that young?
Yeah, when Randy Rhoads died, he auditioned. After Randy Rhoads died, he auditioned, and he was playing with Ozzy when he was like 16 years old.
Did you get any of this story straight from him too, or is it just knowledge that you absorbed over the time?
Just knowledge. He didn't really pick his brain, but we got to sit down and like have drinks and just hang out, and it was really really cool time. And I got to go on his bus.
Hmm.
That thing was decked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
give
was
you
really
glimpses
cool.
of what the future should be for any striving artist.
Yes. Uh, I think
Explain it. What it was it
it was like a mini mansion, dude,
with
on
gold
wheel
everywhere.
on wheels. Like the bus got the thing went out, so it like got wider, so you had more room. Um, and they had like huge bed in the back. It was great, and TVs everywhere. Oh, what happened? Hello, Kyle. I lost you.
Here he comes.
Hello.
I had
Sorry,
lost you.
technical difficulties, brother.
It's okay.
So I was getting around to this to try and talk about how technology has been a great I don't ability for you. Like as
Uh,
technology advances, your life gets better. I gotta figure.
Technology like the iPad for me has leveled the playing field
Mhm.
with like drawing and all that. I've always been real good on like with computers and stuff like that. I'm just real good with technology, and I have a brain. I didn't take algebra, but my brain's wired to do critical thinking.
Okay.
So if if A and B don't equal C, then I have to do something to get to what I'm trying to do. Um, I always had to think chrono that way, like putting my braces on, getting dressed, using um tools.
Hmm.
Tools are very important. I need the right tool for the right job. Um, and I have the right tool for the right job, I can do what I'm trying to do. Like the
Like putting braces on.
yeah,
You can't touch your toes, can you?
yes,
Okay.
I can bend down completely in half and touch my feet.
Okay. I didn't know
Um,
if uh, there's I apologize for not
no, you
being
don't need to
for being ignorant
apologize.
of it, but
You're not ignorant. You don't know. You don't hang out with me on a daily
well,
basis.
now I'm not, right. That's the slow process of ignorance is it shouldn't be afraid either. I would hope um too much embarrassment around ignorance gets people to stop learning to not be ignorant, if that makes sense,
The only way you learn is by asking questions. If you don't ask the question, then you're not going to get the answer or you're not going to learn.
Mhm.
I'm always constantly asking questions.
So
Um,
braces important part of your day to day. They're
yes,
helping you get around.
my left leg didn't fuse completely, so trying to
Mhm.
walk without that brace is painful.
Dialysis. Are you a candidate for in-home dialysis, or is this not possibly a good thing even for you? I've heard mixed reviews on them.
I would have to rely on someone to stab me and make sure my blood pressure is okay during the whole treatment. And my mom helped me pretty much my entire life doing peritoneal dialysis. And I just don't want to do that. So and going to a center, it gets me out of the house.
I follow.
I don't leave my house very often because I don't drive and things are
Mhm.
very far. So I just kind of hang out
Now you
here.
stay in Baltimore, right?
Well, I'm in Aberdeen. I just tell people Baltimore
Okay.
because if you say Baltimore, Maryland, people are like, "Oh, I know where that's at."
Aberdeen sounds like it's way south somewhere.
It is way north. I'm like an hour and 30 minutes from Philadelphia, and I am 5 minutes from Cal Ripken Stadium
Okay.
because he
You
has.
go?
I have not gone to an
Okay.
Iron Birds um, game. Believe it or not,
Ironbirds.
yeah, that's his team,
Okay.
the Iron
They're
Birds.
they're not MLB, is that right? I don't even know if that's right.
They're like
I'm bad with my sports.
they're not like I don't know. I may be getting this wrong, but like uh League One or whatever the
Hmm.
level
Yeah. They
the
they
pro
don't have their
baseball.
own
Yeah,
starter jerseys
they're
on
like
ESPN.
yeah, they're like second or third league or whatever. It's where
Okay.
people go to get noticed.
Minors. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like Bull
there you go.
Durham
There you go. I'm
trying to
not
make you
a
step to the big leagues.
yeah, I don't know sports very well. Unless you consider skateboarding a sport.
Well, we do. Were you involved with other sports debate or anything like that, or even chess or anything as a kid?
Well, when I was a kid, I was the manager for the lacrosse team, and I would play midi every now and then.
Mid range?
Yeah, midfield.
Oh my god, that's
And
awesome, dude.
yeah, I had really good I could handle the ball real well with my lacrosse stick. Um
Mhm.
so
How
it
how
was
worried your mom when you're out there?
uh I think my mom she's a naturally very worried person. So anything I do, her worry level is like on a 10.
Yeah, well, lacrosse is not known to be the softest sport.
No, I got it. I don't even know why I did it, but we were tossing around and like someone went to shoot the ball into the goal and the goalie wasn't paying attention and I ran and stuck my leg out
Uh-huh.
and luckily it hit the brace. So it was, um protected. But it's like, why did I do that? I could have like really like gotten my
Yeah,
leg knocked off.
and that's what your mom's scared of it the whole time, right?
Yeah, because I don't think about stuff. I just do stuff.
Good.
I'm
I mean,
just
somewhat, right? Because it's
uh,
lettuce here too.
right. I'm kind of like that in that part of the Batman movie where Joker's like, I'm like a wild dog chasing a car, and if I caught it, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. I just do things. So that's kind of me. I
Are
just kind of do things.
are you plenty happy to be that?
Yes,
Such
I am. I don't think
that's
I could be any other way. Like when I was 18, I had gotten an offer to do a television show out in Istanbul, Turkey, and it was 2 weeks after I had gotten my second kidney transplant, and I flew like 14 hours to Istanbul, and I came back, and my mom's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "Oh, I went to
wait.
Turkey."
She didn't even know that you had left. You didn't tell
No,
her.
no, I did not tell her where I was
Did you
going.
think she would be scared or something?
No, I thought she was going to be mad and yell at me and tell me not to go because I
So
was too.
better to ask for forgiveness.
Yes, that's my philosophy in life is better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I'm beginning to think we should add your mom on the show too. I feel like I could really explore her worries because I'm, of course, a parent, and
Yes, you
you
are.
have these concerns about helicopter parenting or under parenting all at the
Yeah.
same time. And God bless if you read anything, it's going to tell you one or the other, and you don't know where to land. Well, here you are trying to sacrifice your leg for a score on
Yep.
a game.
Yep. Man, there's been plenty of times I've done something dumb like that. That's I chipped my two front teeth. One time I was going off a ramp with a bike and I flipped over the front handlebars. And then the other time I chipped
You
the
were
other
riding a
one.
bike too.
Yeah, I can ride bikes if I basically just take the pedals off in the bike chain and I pedal with my feet.
Okay, it like push it forward,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you can get downhill hill motion
And
and
then
stuff. What do you put your
yeah,
feet
well,
on? You put a peg through the
I
where the crank used to be.
no, I put pegs on the front of the bike where you would put them to grind, and I just put my feet up there
Okay, right
and
on.
just kind of ride it like it's a chopper.
Right, makes it a little top heavy sometimes.
Yeah,
Am I
especially
wrong?
when you don't have arms because you're leaning. You're basically on top of the handlebars. So
He's
if you
such a
hit
goofball, motherfucker.
so if you hit anything, you're going forward.
Yeah, Superman.
Sweet.
So what did you hit?
I was going off a ramp, and I just
Oh,
went over
because
the.
it wasn't enough to just ride it.
Yeah.
They had ramps, so why not?
Yep.
Where's your mom?
She was inside
Nowhere
somewhere.
around.
She was
No,
inside
okay.
somewhere.
Did she know you
Um.
were doing this?
Oh yeah, she knew
Oh,
she
awesome.
knew I was
Good.
doing all kinds of crazy stuff growing up.
So that you hit this ramp. How was the land? How was the flight? Let's start there,
It was great until I hit the ground,
huh?
and then I
You like
flipped
that
and
weightless moment where you're just
yeah,
like, this is awesome. What did it slow down like we see in the movies?
no,
Okay.
they just went up and then down and then over the handlebars. But the thing is, I didn't even know knocked my tooth out. My friend's like, "Your mouth's bleeding." I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh." So
How much of your tooth did it take?
like half of it.
Right on.
So I
I've got
think
my front tooth is missing from much stupid stuff as well. Now I
you
got a
know,
crooked smile.
listen, man, I don't even smile showing my teeth. Um, I just don't like to.
No?
My teeth are all jacked up from falling, having really high fevers as a baby and throwing up. So like my teeth are like the enamel's basically gone. It's down to the dentin, and then like my gums are kind of overgrown because of just the medicine I've been on my entire life.
Mhm.
So if I smile with not showing my teeth. It
Darn it. I'm
just
with it.
happens.
Smiles are nice though. I know that. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's when somebody isn't able to partake in that, that does suck. I look forward to Invisalign getting better, but they got a plan for you because if you're saying this, it's down to the dentist. You're pretty much going to lose your teeth within
Oh
the
yeah.
next few years too, right? You're gonna be
You know,
chomping. You're gonna have a beautiful set of fucking dentures, ain't you?
I'm gonna have a beautiful set of dentures when I'm like in like the next 20 years. Trust me.
I met my dad had them, and I don't know. My friend, my best friend Brandon has the set now. Man, he's got such a pretty smile. Piece of poo.
Right. My dad has them, and then some of my other friends have them, and they all have like really nice smiles. I'm like, I hate you. Even though it's fake,
Right,
I hate
right.
you.
But they got a cup that they got to put it in at night.
Right? Hey man, it's no different than I have to take the jewelry out of my lip and put it in
Right.
something every night.
That I'm wondering. That's why I like to see as technology advances, it's going to advance people like yourselves' lives further and possibly in ways that I wouldn't imagine generally. And so for me, if I'm looking for positive things in technology's advance, because certainly I can shit, excuse me. I can sit and look at everything and shake my fist as it challenges the status quos that I'm used to. And I can imagine that these kids with their tablets are going to be far under intelligent and, with AI writing their documents for them in school. But
If
at the same time, I can see that technology helps out many others in
oh yeah,
great, great ways.
um when I was younger and I wanted to drive and stuff, the technology was very, very expensive. Now it's not so expensive. And now you can literally just wheel your wheelchair into a van or something and you can steer the vehicle with your little joystick from your chair and the
Oh, nice.
steering wheel spins.
So you
It's
getting one?
I would no, they can't give me I wouldn't be able to get a license because I'm partially blind in my left eye.
Right on. Part
I
of
don't
the dialysis, the kidney
No,
situation.
no, it's from hitting my head so much as a kid, and then I finally had a clot
Oh
pressed down
fuck.
on my ocular nerve, and they were like, "Oh, we could fix it by taking your eye out," and then I'm like, no, you're just gonna give me more problems, and I can see out of one eye and partially blind out of the other, and still have depth perception. I'm good.
Mhm.
You will
So now
stay away from my
you
head.
can see where the ramp's at.
Yes, I can
Brother,
see where the ramp's at.
I can't say I've stayed too long and I've said too much because I've still got more. But I do want to keep it short because I also need to keep my energy level up
Yes.
because I'm hoping to talk to Jimmy later on tonight. And it's a late night one. I'm always boring when it's my friends. I don't talk right. So I'm already worried. I need to
You'll
go
be
and do some
fine.
meditating.
You'll be fine. Do some meditating, deep breathing, and have like some chai tea or something with some they'll give you a little pep, and you'll be all right.
All right. I look forward to it. You come back on here and keep us abreast of what you're up to, brother.
I will.
All right. I appreciate it, Jason. We'll talk to you again soon. Hit me one more time, though, before we sign off, if you don't mind.
I just have my Instagram, and that you can see my skateboarding, tattooing, artwork, and what I'm up to on like a daily basis or monthly.
So if you're listening, please drop by and at least say hi. Just give them a comment. We recognize you. We see you. The divine light in us recognizes the divine light in you. Some shit. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
Say
know.
something positive.
Hey, right?
Love you, brother. Thanks a lot
Love
for
you
being a
too.
part of this.
Hey, thanks for having me, and hope we can do it again.
Oh, yeah. Take care, man. Bye.
You too. Bye.